breath of a fluorescent day, I was called to the hall by a number and name to join the collection and play in the game. Walls are a boundary, a starch color line, bleach in the marrow in the middle of night. Invisible fingers are pressing the spine, forcing the shadow of the starch white line. I'm telling the clipboards I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. The rules are a smoke on a windowless bay, demanding a yield and they won't quite explain. A structural hunger, a heavy gauge need for a piece of the spirit to finally play. I brush on the pressure, the weight of the air, pushing the strangers who are currently there. 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping the tally while I wait for the floor. Something must shade in the center of the hall to satisfy the gravity that's driving the fall. I'm doing just fine. Keep up the count, liquidating the logic to sum the amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoulder to the shoulder, a geography of skin, letting the weight of the collective move in. The gymnasium floor is a set of old wax, waiting for the tension to finally relax. The pressure is hydraulic, a slow motion surge, merging individuals into a purge. I can't hold the pressure, I can't hold the frame, under the heat of the anonymous flame. My only function is stop being a man and become the debris of the master plan. The count is a starter, a rifle for trade. The tempo prepares for the impact of mine. I try to show for, I try to stay tall, but the air is a heaven, the air is a wall. I'll take out the cord, I'm so waste time. I'm fire up the airplane, dig it on ground. Protected, I'm claiming the kind of one blow. Dropping the count that I used to call on. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. The function is finished. With a cheek on the yoke, watching the end of the starch white joke. The soles of the shoes are the only new sky for the ones who are still holding on to the line. Self-fully processed, physical fact, free from the later level of broken back. No more anxiety, lay on your back. Just the weight of the matter, finally free. 1, 2, fine. Linking through the suit of a celestial soul. I count the steps from the porch to the gate, calculating the molecular volume of hate inside the house. The walls hung with the wire of a fear that is current and a room that is fire. I count my heartbeats, 1, 2, 3, against the rhythm of a boat that is coming for me. The radiator snaps like a breaking bow, the most expensive version of being alone. Hatred is the furnace, the only heat in the hall, while the fear is the static dancing on the drywall. I keep the tally tight, I keep the sequence green, a starch white ghost in a rust-belt machine. They came to push the finality of the gray, the precise second where the logic met the pain. It wasn't an explosion or a cinematic cry, it was just a cold macking of a lake-covered sky. Letting bodies hit the floor is a structure innate, the only way to balance the weight and the blade. The arithmetic of the thought is the only law, caught in the hunger of a mechanic to they unstitched the name, treating my silence like a combustible shame. But the dam didn't burst with a thunderous sound, it just froze into iron and went into the ground. I move with a precision, a surgical grace, clearing the clutter from the vacant lot space. 1 for the humiliation, 2 for the debt, 3 for the secrets I haven't used yet. Efficiency emerges mercy on clinical codes. Muffle the vibration of a jagged edge throat. One, the first one is gravity. Whoa, the second is weight. The fourth is the hinges of a perimeter gate. The fourth is the silence of an empty next room. I am the auditor of the diagnostic gloom. No longer a victim, no longer a prey. Just a decimal point at the ending of day. The equation is finished, the variables are still the final fulfillment of a predatory will. Letting bodies hit the floor is a short tyranny. The yellow weight of bullets, the weight and the blade. The arithmetic of the thought is the only law. Caught in the hunger of a genical. Sitting in the center of the iron and the red, with the map of my history unstitched from my head. One, the third, they're a distant con. Two, the lyrics is finalist of this constant head. Get the buttons on a starch white slate. There is no more reasoning to ever leave. Nothing has changed. The sequence is true. I'm just counting the things that I'm forced to do. Three, two, the room is a long fill without the rising size. What the hell do you do is a script for the eyes. I have a volume of blood in this large linen cage. Trying to calculate the end on a whitewashed page. It is a pulse of vibration of gold, hidden behind the portraits on the ballroom wall. One for the heartbeat, two for the bone, three for the secret I'm forced to own. I am counting the seconds to get forth to the fair. Trying to stay vertical while the end is so near. Nazi is the color of the air in the hall. A primary pigment before the foundations fall. It is a living thing, a tissue of hate, pumping its rhythm through the soles of my feet. I am hitting the dance floor with a numerical line, claiming the meat as if it were mine. Something has to yield, and the yielding is me. Unzipping the skin of the shared biography. I am dropping the ornaments, the words and the names, surrendering the ghost to the gravity's climb. No longer a woman or a face or a lie, just a violent descent from a starch color sky. Just me to the floor. Just me to the floor. The skin was a filter, a translucent gauze, hiding the hunger in the prehistoric jaws. The friction of being was a weight in the chest, until the identity gave up the quest. The fall was a mercy, a surgical snap, unhooking the marrow from the social trap. I am the one with a tunnel of thought, joining the dust and the chemical mob. The words are souls of discarded and left, up with the slow motion ghosts of the upright past. Horizontal is the only honest way to remain, washed in the scent of the strangest hot rain. The sweat of the others is a thick salty mist, the only evidence that the bodies exist. All but not only an exilium of grit, the human and will are finally split. The yet has no grammar, the yet has no line, just a heavy gauge pressure of a mirror of life. Just the heavy gauge pressure of a mirror of life. Something has to yield, and the yielding is me. Unzipping the skin of the shared biography. I am dropping the ornaments, the words and the names, surrendering the ghost to the gravity's claim. I wore the carnage like a velvet drape, refining the horror into a crushable shape. I perfume the air with the vintage of spite, watching the bruising in the amber light. Fear was a cufflink, hate was a rose, paint to a lapel in a decadent pose. I looked at the meat in the circle of grit, as if the spirit and the shadow could never be unknit. I was a scholar of the elegant road, above the vibration of the common ground. The ring is a gallery of flint and of lead, where the lyrics of copper are finally fed. I thought my arrogance was made of tempered glass, watching the slow motion ghost of the infantry pass. But the gravity is hungry for the silk in the vein, waiting for the silver to be washed by the rain. The first one is the tearing of the seam, the second is the waking from the dream, the third is the salt upon the tongue, the darkest anthem that the choir ever sung. That is a substance, not a metaphor for art, when the iron of the world is the finery of parts. Count the losses, count the floor. The mirror isn't looking anymore. They push me to the center of the breathing and the raw, into the rhythmic grinding of the prehistoric jaw. The blood in the bone I once praised in a verse came a sticky reality, a physical curse. It's soaking the lavender, it's drowning the lace, mapping the wreckage on a well-tailored face. My elegance offer no armor or shield against the heavy gauge logic of the killing field. The arrogance flickers, the luster goes dry under the weight of a lead-colored sky. The mirror in my pocket is 1,000 silver teeth, revealing the hollow that was hiding underneath. I thought I was a tragedy, a cinematic fall, but I'm just another shadow on the basement wall. Of course there's no style in the clinical light, just a redundancy of matter at the ending of the night. The gutter is a level and the gutter is a home, mixing the dirty with the dirt and the foam. The first one is the tearing of the seam, the second is the waking from the dream, the third is the salt upon the tongue, the darkest anthem that the choir ever sung. Blood is a substance, not a metaphor for art, when the iron of the world is the finery of part. Stretched in the Sajita, gray in the morning, the last bit of silk is a tattered cloth warning. I dispress of all the bodies, I hated the mud, now I'm the interest.